Hello, my friends. Welcome here. I'm so glad that you're here. We're hanging out. The world is a crazy place right now, but yet here we are having a little YouTube hang. So the plan is to just enjoy all being here together. And additionally, I wanted to go over ways that you can set up like an awesome home practice and get the most out of your time when you are practicing. So I don't know, shout out if you're stuck in your house. Are you self-isolating? Are you quarantined? Are you free, footless and fancy-free? I feel like a lot of us are staying close to home, which, I mean, there are positives to that, one of them being more time for the piano. So if we have this extra time, how can we get the most out of it? How can we maximize our practices? How can we have a way to like measure that we're moving forward? So that's kind of what I wanted to chat about. So we're gonna go over kind of how I structure a well-rounded practice. So I'm gonna walk you through some warm-ups. I'm gonna walk you through some scale practice, but don't worry, scale practice won't be boring. It's probably gonna be like the coolest scale practice you've ever seen because we're gonna do some really fun stuff with the scale. There is a lead sheet attached. We're gonna learn a little bit of a song, and then we're gonna look at how we can take what we see in the song and actually use it to develop our technique at the same time that we're developing a song. So there's a lot of fun to be had in the next little bit. I will open up to questions at a couple points. So if you guys have questions, type them in the chat. Sam's not here with me right now, but he is hanging out, and he's gonna be taking the questions and sending them to me so I can make sure that I answer them. So it's good. Okay. Here we go. So the first thing when you sit down at your piano that you want to do is warm up your fingers. And I mean, maybe it's to like kind of get them limbered up. But for me, it's also got a lot to do with just arriving at the piano. So, you know, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're going through your life, you're doing your tasks, and then you sit down and you're at the piano. And I don't know about you, but it takes me a minute to kind of like arrive. So I like to start really simple, and one of my favorite ways to warm up is actually just a 5-tone scale. And you look at this and you think, that's pretty boring, but it doesn't have to be. So if you can kind of get your hands going on autopilot for a minute, think about taking a few deep breaths, how the keys feel under your fingers, and then you're going to start to get creative here. So instead of just moving up and down those 5 tones, why don't you play one hand staccato and one hand legato? And then switch. That's really difficult to do on the fly. I usually have to stop and think about it. So now you're developing control between the hands. And then finally, another fun thing you can do with this 5-tone scale is develop hand and independence. I can speak, I swear. Hand independence. That's a hard 2 words to say. Anyways. So what I mean by that is playing kind of alternate rhythms between the hands. And then, this is the tricky part. I don't know if I'll be able to do it smoothly, but you can switch gears. So now this hand's, see? That's hard. So 8th notes in the left and quarters in the right. And you can do it with like a swing. I messed up. I tried to switch hands. Right? It's not like the most beautiful sounding thing, but I don't know. I always have endless fun with it because it always makes me laugh when I make mistakes. And just finding new ways to challenge myself with like switching those rhythms up and then finding it hilarious that I can't do it and slowing it down and then making it work. It's all part of the process. And I think it's really important that when we're practicing at home, we want to make sure that we're keeping the experience like lighthearted and fun as much as possible. Warm-up exercises for advanced players. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do. When I was really deep in my classical studies, I'd actually use like Bach. I love Bach. I'd use Bach pieces, like some of the more like intense, crazy ones, as a warm-up. Ones that maybe I'd been I'd isolate like a section of it, and I just use that as a warm-up, a couple bars, because there's just so much going on with the hands. Also Hanons. I love this one. So if you're starting on C, then instead of playing the 5th, you play the 6th, and you just can rock like that. And you can pay attention to speed. And you can do that in other keys if you're more advanced, because then you have to factor in a sharp and it just changes the whole landscape immediately. We have a pack inside of Pianote called Faster Fingers, and what it does is we've got a variety of exercises that challenge you in a whole bunch of areas like dexterity, keyboard familiarity, all the things, and have you working towards building like speed. So it works really well for beginners and more advanced players because, you know, the more you push yourself towards, you know, an exercise is an exercise, but once you have that metronome on and you're measuring it against yourself, you are your challenger. It becomes really exciting. Okay, so we've gone over a couple warm-up ideas, and then after the warm-ups, honestly, scales. And this used to be my least favorite part of the practice. So, okay, when I was taking classical lessons, there is a period of time where just my scales and technique practice was like an hour. An hour, can you imagine? Maybe some of you do it. I was doing an hour of scales and triads, and it wasn't like the fun way. It was like with the metronome and doing everything just so. So I'm gonna show you like a little bit more of a playful way to approach scale practice. So let's look at the G scale. I like G. So we've got G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. And I'm using G scale as an example, but you'll be able to apply this to any scale. And actually, before I go too far with this, I want to say that I like to rotate. I pick a scale to be my theme, usually for about a week. And so I practice that scale, and then I practice the relative minor of that scale, and then I stay there for a week, and I improvise with that scale, and I do my triads and my arpeggios in that key, and then the next week I find a new one to work with, and I find that works really, really well. So we're going to learn our scale, so let's play G, A, B, and then our right hand tucks, and then our left hand flies over. We don't forget our F sharp. And this is kind of a little bit like a warm-up in a lot of ways, especially if you have played scales already. And so you're going to run up and down a few times. Okay, that's great. That's fine. And you know what? You can challenge yourself. Play faster. Play 2 octaves. Play with different dynamics. So left hand could be soft. Right hand could be loud. This is actually really challenging. To keep one hand soft and one hand loud. And the whole point of practicing scales in these different ways, like with a loud hand and a soft hand and with crescendos and decrescendos and all of that, is that when we just play the same thing without thinking, we're an autopilot. We're not really committing it to like our being. But when our brain has to work and think of something in a different way, like, oh, the scale is fast, the scale is slow, the scale is staccato, this is legato, it's developing a way better pathway in the brain for it, and you're going to just have so much more proficiency at that skill. So you got to keep your brain on its toes. Is that a thing? I don't know. Oh, goodness. Okay, so now we played with our scale. So we did the hard work of the scale practice. So now let's have some fun. We actually have a quick tip video on this concept, but find the root of your scale. So that's G, because we just worked on G scale. And let's play like a pulsing 5th. And this is my favorite thing to do with scales, because the scale notes are the ingredients for something beautiful. So I'm just going to start playing any notes of that G scale in any order and any rhythm. Isn't that pretty? And don't you think if you weren't an advanced piano player that maybe you could do this too? I've actually met advanced piano players that struggle with this because there's no plan. You just have to go with the flow. And then you could take that left hand and you could move it down to E, right? Because E is the relative minor of G. Whoa, mood change. playing a descending G major scale. And I came back to G, and it sounds like home. You could play more than one note at a time. Look at this. It's so pretty. So this is just like a little taste of what you can do with a scale to improvise. And for me, it's always about the why. It's like my favorite thing to ask. Why? 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 If I have to practice scales, why? Well, when you practice a scale, you are able to do fun stuff like that. So maybe the scale practice in and of itself is not the best for you, but to be able to go and improvise like that and maybe create your own composition or song, that's the best feeling ever. Okay, so let's dive into another thing that learning the scale can do for you. And this is all part of my practice routine, because if I want to be a really well-balanced piano player, I want to be able to play my technique, I want to be able to play improvisations, and I want to be able to play songs, and for songs you need chords. So let's take that scale, and we're going to build this little claw shape on each note. And again, we're developing skills that we need to play songs here. We're developing skills that we need to be fast and have dexterity and strengthen our fingers. So I just used the notes of the G major scale, and I played a note, skipped a note, played a note, skipped a note, played a note. And I move my hand up, remembering the scale has F sharp. So what I'm doing here is I'm teaching my hands and my brain how the chord shapes feel for this key. So now what I can do is I can go on to find, the first chord is the 1, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 4. I have developed a confidence in being able to move my hands into the shapes of the chords that belong to the scale or this key that I'm playing in. And now I have the keys to basically every popular song ever written. Right? I don't know, maybe you're kind of like hearing this going, oh, that sounds like this song that I heard. So I find that there's a lot of time that can get spent there. Getting lost is a good thing, because then you can use what you've just learned in that key signature to play around with those pop chords based on the 1, the 5, the minor 6, and the 4 chords of that key. And you do a little bit of this every day, and next thing you know, you're able to play songs in basically any key because you're working through this as a part of your technique practice. And that's something that my piano teachers never, ever taught me to do. And I really wish that they had, because I feel like I would have been able to play songs that I really wanted to play a lot faster. So I'm going to take a minute now, pause the routine, and we're going to answer some questions. So let's take a look here. Okay. When listening to a song, how do you know to use the major scale or the relative minor scale to build your chords? Okay, Sam, you might want to weigh in on this, but as far as I'm concerned, the chords that you're going to build with the major and the minor, because you have the same ingredients to work with. So in the key of C, these are the chords I have to work with. Okay? All white keys. The relative minor is A minor. So if I play that same shape starting on A, I end up with the same ingredients. C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, and then we got this B diminished, and then C. A minor, B diminished, C major, D minor, E minor, F, G, and then back to A minor. So the same chords, they're just placed in a different order. So for me, try maybe if this question has got more to do with like deciding if the key is major or minor, it's going to be where the song kind of sits at the end. What chord feels like the resting place? So if I'm playing C, that's the resting place. That's a major chord. But if I'm playing A minor. That's where we end. That's the resting place. That's going to be our key signature. So maybe that's a little bit helpful, hopefully.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yes.
Okay, because for me, hi everyone, I'm the engineer with Pianote here. For me, I play guitar, and I never think of anything in minor. I always think of it in a major key.
Yes.
And maybe there's not a proper answer for this question, or maybe you have to really get into the technical side of things. Does it matter if you consider it to be a major key, even though it technically is the relative minor?
I personally don't think so. I actually think of everything in reference to the major as well. So if a song goes 1, 5, 6, 4, or even though this is now the 1, because this is where we're ending this minor, I'll still call this 6, 4, 1, 5. That makes sense. So in my thinking, I base things off the major always, but if you're looking at a piece of sheet music, your experience is going to be a little bit different. Then you're going to be kind of referring to like the first note and the last note of the song and just the overall feel, and that's when you would consider things based on the minor, and the minor does become the 1 in that case. If that makes sense. Yeah?
Oh, it makes sense. Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, let's keep rocking and rolling. Oh, awesome. Okay, how not to get overwhelmed with the piano staying home all the time? Like, tell me more about that. So I would say make sure that you're create a positive experience. That's what I would say. So like as we talk through this process of how to create a home practice, where we're talking about warming up, picking a scale or a key signature to work through, and then finding fun and engaging and creative ways to work with that scale, that creates a fun experience. And the other piece of that is you're balancing out technical development with play, right? So there's a big difference between practicing and playing. I always struggled with this when I was growing up because I just wanted to play. But in order to improve, you do also need to practice. Practice means you're slowing down, you're stopping when you make a mistake, you're working out the bits, you're very focused. Playing means you're performing a song, you're just having a grand old time. So make sure you're including elements of practice and play. That will help. You can also make sure that you're not, for me, I like to do short practices a couple times throughout the day rather than just be like, I need to get to the piano. I'll spend 15 minutes here and then 15 minutes here, and then those are my practices, and then over here I'll do like an hour where I just play because I'm getting lost in the music and having fun, and it feels like time just flies. So maybe that's a good way to look at it. Okay. Oh, practicing everything versus focusing on one thing. Well, I think that these, what we're going through here, these elements, warm up, scale, the ones that are coming up are song, and then just kind of free playing. So I always break my practices into those pieces, but don't feel like you have to practice everything. If you're breaking your practices up into shorter pieces, step 1, warm up. Come back later. Okay, now I'm going to work on my scales. Great, go away, come back. Okay, now I'm going to work on my songs. And then you're still focusing on one thing at a time, and you're getting it all done. Alternately, there have been times when I have just kind of broken things up into themes for each day. So day 1, I might do heavy on the technique, a little bit of song. Day 2, I might do mostly song stuff, and then a little bit on the technique. All depends on your personality. Do you offer lessons because I'm a child beginner and really want to learn piano? Yes, we do offer lessons. So if you go to pianote.com, you have options to look at our membership. We've got a 35% off. Yeah, we have a really, really good sale right now. And so you can access our step-by-step lessons that have practice alongs, and they work from the beginning. They walk you through everything. It gives you access to all of our live lessons. So what we do here, we do every single week in the members area, and we answer the questions that our members have during the week. So if they have something that they need a little extra help on, we address it in our live. We also take video submissions in the members area, and then we review them and give feedback so that it's like the closest experience you can have to having like a real teacher next to you. You got me, and I'm here to like watch your videos and give you feedback and encourage you and be your cheerleader. So yes, you can do that. And we do have a couple like free, if you look at the, not the comments, but the description below this, we do have some lessons or some like free little mini courses that you can start. There's one called Getting Started. If you wanted to just get a feel for what the lessons are like, you can check those out. Okay, I'm gonna do one or two more and then I'm gonna carry on with our little practice routine. I can't stop curling my left pinky. Is that detrimental to learning and how can I fix it? I feel your pain. Look at this. It happens especially when I'm doing hand-ins. Ah, see? I have this runaway 5-finger. I don't know if that's what's happening to you or if it's just curling when you play, but usually that's a result of tension. So back to my faithful friend, the 5-tone scale. Each finger lands on top of a key. Here, yeah, you can see this pretty well. So if it's curling, that's fine. It's gonna curl a little bit. How you have this, your wrist placed will affect it. Place your hand so each finger lands on its own key and then just practice gently pushing straight down. And releasing. And keeping the least amount of tension in your hand possible. And just practice keeping that pinky chilled out. And yeah, I can do that on a 5-tone scale, but when I go to practice a song or an exercise, it's gonna fly up again and I'm just gonna have to go, okay, relax. It's a progress. It's a skill that will take time for me. And everybody's hands are put together differently, so I wouldn't stress. I would not stress about it. Okay. I'm going to keep rocking and rolling with some of these ideas. So we've got our warm-up. We've got our scale, which we used to do cool stuff, like play chords and improvise. And then, this is my favorite part, it's the song. And I attached a lead sheet for you in the description, so if you want to go pull that up right now, I'm going to grab it too. And this is where the magic happens. Okay, so the song I picked for us today is Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. In the key of C, so it's nice and easy. We've even got the little guitar pictures below the chords. So if you're a guitar player, got you covered too. Okay, so we look at our song. This is why we practice, so we can play songs. Okay, so we see these chords, C, A minor, C, A minor. And so the first thing I think when I see those is, well, let's use these as a way to practice confidence on the keys. So I'm not gonna just sit down and be like, play the song. I'm gonna, okay, let's practice these movements. C, A minor, C. And for a beginner, simply moving the hand positions like this can be a big deal. I'm playing open chords, meaning I've got no middle note. I'm just playing these little chord shells. When I feel ready, I might fill them in. And when I get feeling comfortable there, I'll go, okay, well maybe it's time to spice this up a little bit. This particular song is in 6/8 and has this feeling to it. So I'm gonna use this C chord and this A minor chord to practice my 1-octave arpeggios, because these arpeggios are gonna help me play the song awesome. So here's the pattern. And that's what fits this 6/8 time signature so perfectly, because I just played 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then to the A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up to the C. And you may just spend a little bit of time here until this feels really easy for you. And then you can carry on through the chords of the song. F, G, C, and then G. And then maybe it's time to bring your right hand in and just kind of play and hold the chords. Watch this. I gotta sing. Am I singing this high or low? Heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? I'm playing a song, but also I'm like just playing arpeggios and chords. See how intertwined these skills are. Yes, these are technical skills, arpeggios and chords, but that's what songs are made of. So you're getting like double for your money here because you're getting technique and you're getting to play a song. So when that becomes comfortable, maybe you want to work on the melody. And if you're not wanting to get overwhelmed, maybe your practice for the day is just the first line. Stop there. That might be difficult. So you might get that far, or you might be like, oh my gosh, I can't even do that. Well, then break it down. Play the left hand by itself and sing the melody, even if you're a crappy singer. I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. Helps you to find the groove, right? Then you can try maybe bringing in the playing and slowing down. There's nothing wrong with this. This is progress. If this is hard and you're doing it, even if it's slow and doesn't sound good, this is where it starts for everybody. And eventually you'll be playing it like a pro. So I love to look at the songs that I'm working on, figure out the chords that belong to that song, and then use those chords to practice technical things that will help me to be better in my performance overall. So I'm going to take another little boot at the chat here. Hold up. I cannot play the Maple Leaf Rag. Okay, I feel like we are... Ooh, I really want to answer this question. What would be a good method to follow up if you're a piano self-taught person? Pianote? I feel like we're really good for self-learners because our program is very, very flexible. So we have the step-by-step lessons, but then we also have all of our song tutorials. We have courses, we have quick tips, we have all the support from the teachers. So if you're self-taught and you just kind of need a method to follow to help you kind of stay on track and have a little bit of support that is also very affordable, then piano is probably going to be a really good fit for you. Okay, I'm going to go back to the questions. We got more stuff at the end. How much time do you practice? Oh, could you explain using the pedal in Hallelujah? Okay. I lift my pedal. Can you see the chordy, Taylor? Okay, so in the top left, you see like the keyboard thingy? You see that green? Okay, it's not green. It's green. It's green, right? Okay, not green. Green. So no pedal, pedal. So watch what's happening. I'm going to lift it after every single chord change. Change chords, the pedal comes up and down. And anytime it starts to sound like muddy and not good, pedal comes up and down. It's constantly up and down. People that have been playing for a while, I feel like we cannot play without a pedal because our feet are so used to just moving with the chord changes. So if you ever, I'll have my foot over the pedal even when I'm practicing scales. Not that I use it, but it just feels wrong to not have my foot ready on the pedal. What's the most important thing to learn to play at the piano? Scales, and more scales. But like I said earlier, make sure that you're practicing them in a way that brings you joy. So just doing this for an hour will make you absolutely crazy. Well, maybe not. Maybe you'll enjoy it. But if you look at your scale as ingredients. You know those shows where they like cook the things and they just get this like pile of ingredients and somebody's like, here's your ingredients, make something amazing? That is scales. So they're so important because they are the ingredients for this. That's what a scale gives you. A scale gives you speed and dexterity. A scale gives you a template to improvise on. A scale gives you something that you can use to play amazing arpeggios. I think I might be a little overzealous about the scales right now. Practice your scales. What is, how much time do you practice per day? I don't really know if I should answer that question. When I was following a regular and consistent practice routine and seriously studying, I was practicing 2 to 3 hours a day. Currently now, I practice like half an hour a day. I practice half an hour a day. Sometimes I play. Sometimes I don't practice and I just play for like an hour. We're all friends here. It's good to be honest. But that's okay.
And let's be real. You also come to work, and how long have you been playing piano today for? Probably 2.5 hours.
Yep.
At least like just playing piano. So
This is true.
maybe you go home and just like practice for an hour, but you also probably play a good 20 hours at work. Nah, maybe like 15 to 20 hours of work at least.
I would agree. I play a lot, and I love it. Makes me happy. How do you play without looking at the keys? Oh, this is a fun one. I practiced all my scales so I know where all the keys are. But more seriously, so I used to have this piano teacher, because I don't like notes. Notes really stress me out. And so I would just like to prefer to look at my hands while I played. So she was just trying to do the right thing. But she covered my hands with a book so I couldn't see them. Oh, it was the worst. I hated it. But actually I think it helped. So a great way to practice playing without looking is to look and I will preface this by saying if you are a total beginner, it's okay to glance at the keys. You're still getting used to how this thing is all put together. So looking, not looking, oh, I need to look, oh, I can, right? I still glance at my hands all the time. But if you learn a scale, go ahead and look all you want. And then you practice just as a part of your practice. How far can I get into this scale without looking at my hands? See how it goes. Look when you need to. Just like everything else, if you identify it as an area that needs improvement, spend time focused on it, you're going to improve. That's my 25 cents. Ooh, what are my favorite chord flourishes? As in little twinkles in the music? Oh, I love that you use the word twinkles. Okay. We're going to play this Hallelujah again, and I will tell you. Oh, that's what song am I even playing right now? Sorry about that. Okay, let's look at the music. I may be easily distracted. Okay, I'm gonna look at the music with focus and then talk to you about these little twinkles. This is my favorite and most used fill. So if I'm playing a C chord, I swap the third for the second. It's basically that. And you can walk it back down. Again, playing a different song. I don't do this on a inverted chord. Not usually, sometimes I guess. Primarily, root positions. So number one is this little, I call a sus chord sparkle. I heard there was a secret chord, right? David played and it pleased the Lord. And then the second thing I do is I just use the chord shape I'm in. There's that sparkle again. Is I just play notes that belong to the chord in the moments that I have to fill up. Might actually be easier to show this in a non-6/8 song like Let It Be. I found myself in times of trouble. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. So there's a little sus chord sparkle. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes, right? Mother Mary. Just playing the chord notes. It looks like I'm doing something super advanced and fancy. I'm not. I'm just using the notes I'm already playing. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. There's that little sus chord sparkle on the G. Let it be. I did it again. Those are my favorite fills. That's how I do it anyways. All right, how are we doing, my friends? So what was this secret chord that David played? Probably like minor 7, flat 5, I bet. That seems like a pretty... Come on, Taylor. I don't know. I'll let you guys guess what the secret chord would have been. Okay. Hold up. I'm looking for my questions list. Once again, Lisa's easily distractible mind is distracted. I always get sore shoulders when I play. I'm trying to improve my posture, but is this common? It could be that you're doing this when you play. When people learn, people are learning the piano, myself included, when I'm trying something new, this happens. You don't even know it's happening. So I'm always telling, when I was teaching privately, I was always telling my students, drop your shoulders. Drop them. Just drop them down. So keep that in mind.
Is it not possible that their piano is simply too high?
Oh, yes.
Or they're sitting too low, I guess?
The piano could be too high. The piano could be too low. They could be pushing down too hard. They could be too close to the piano. There are many factors here. So for me, make sure, can I see my legs? Oh, yeah, I can. Look where my knees are. They're just underneath the piano. My feet are flat on the floor. I have a very straight back. My shoulders are relaxed. I'm breathing. And I'm about this distance, whatever this distance is. This is the distance. My arms are basically parallel with the floor. You can reach the whole keyboard. That's my posture lesson. Okay, what are arpeggios? Oh, okay, arpeggios are like expanded out chords. So a C chord uses a C, an E, and a G. Now if you were to play that with your 1, your 2, and your 3, and then pop another C on top, you have an arpeggio. And you can do this little finger tuck magic here, boom, and play it 2 octaves. And when you get fast at these, you sound like a boss. Took a very long time to get fast at those. My question is, what's the best way to find out which finger to start playing a song with? Whilst, is that how I say it? Sight reading. Okay, that's a great question. I'm gonna go back to Hallelujah because we have notation for that in front of us. So we've got a lead sheet. So the melody does this. So what I do is I look at that first note and I ask myself, what is happening next? Do I need to be able to move down from that note? Do I need to be able to move up from that note? In this case, E moves up to G and there are no notes below E. So I know that it's probably safe for me to play E with my thumb. And it is. But when we get through to other areas of the song, like, it goes like this, the 4th, the 5th, the minor fall, the major. Whoa, what am I gonna do? I gotta get to D. This is where these little thumb tucks come in really handy. I'm gonna still start with my 1 because there's nothing below the E. I'm on measure 13. Now I'm gonna pretend like this is a scale. I'm gonna tuck my thumb. And then I'm gonna bring this thumb down to the G. It's kind of, I have to readjust and reroute my fingering patterns all the time when I'm playing. Find the path of least resistance. Look at what's ahead of you and then decide based on that. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Do you guys ever sing to yourselves when you're just talking? Because I do all the time. Andy, to start and finish courses for beginners, that would be Pianote. Again, we've got, seriously, everything from the very beginning for somebody who has never touched a piano all the way through to like late intermediate advanced level. And they're step-by-step, they're short lessons. If you ever get stuck, you can reach out to me directly as a member. We have Sam on board. We have so much support for you as you learn. It's super affordable. I taught privately for so many years, and I may be biased because this is my workplace, but I am so proud of what we've created at Pianote because I feel like it just ticks all the boxes that a student needs. There's support, there's accountability, there's a whole variety of different ways that you can approach your learning. You're in charge of what you learn, how you learn, when you learn, and how can you improve on that? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna do another question or two. Is the foundations course suitable for my kids to supplement to use for their music lessons as they now homeschool? I assume getting them used to the notes is a good start. Yeah, it all depends on your kids. So we have members that use Pianote for their kids, and it goes so well for them. But the parents in these cases have a little bit of piano experience, so they're kind of supporting their kids along with it. They're not just like, watch this lesson and go play it. They're a little more engaged. So it depends on the age of your kids. We have a pack called 500 Songs in 5 Days. I think that would be good for kids. Our first level, it would be fine for kids. Even the second level teaches sight reading. Yeah, no, I've been thinking I gotta put something together. I used to teach just kids. And I have so many great ideas for how to get kids excited and engaged with music, and just teach them in ways that are, fun for kids. I've got to put something together for you guys. Hopefully I'll be able to do that then soon, because I feel like if we're going to be locked in our houses with our children, it might be good to have some tools to keep them busy and learning things. Okay, one more. How would you work on the left hand? For, just in general? I like our Faster Fingers pack for the left hand, and I actually often recommend that people go through that series with just the left hand as opposed to working the right or hands together, because the exercises are so good. Pardon me, I yawn. They're so good for targeting speed and dexterity and confidence. But really, any exercise like that Hanon, this is a different one that I showed you at the beginning. There are many Hanons. We also have a course on just Hanons in the members area. Right? I'm just thinking about relaxing, playing each key, not tensing that pinky finger. I can see that it really wants to stress out right now. It's a great way to work the left hand. Arpeggios, scales, anything where you're just isolating that left hand is going to be good to develop the left hand. Jerome, hello. Somebody just said Lisa. So that's that. I don't know. I'm just saying hi. What's the best way to learn music theory? Do you have those lessons in your course? So here's the thing about our courses. We're very sneaky about our music theory. So yes, absolutely you're learning music theory as you go, but most of the time you're not going to really know that you're learning theory because we're teaching it to you through a practical application. So you're learning something and you're playing it, and then 3 lessons later you're going to be like, oh, that lesson over there set me up so I could do this, and this works because of what I learned here. So it all kind of connects and builds as you go through the lessons, and it's really kind of cool that way. Wow, you guys are chatty. I love it. There's so many questions popping up.
There are more than 400 people watching you right now.
There's more. So I try to think about it because it's a little bit. Thanks, Taylor. It's a little intimidating being watched by 430 people now. I don't have stage fright.
And then I went to the close-up.
Okay, so confession time. Guys, I'm an introvert. I have social anxiety, and I really, really get nervous. And here I am in front of all of you. Isn't that funny?
440 now.
What? So, stepping into this role has been driven so much by my actual true passion to share what I know about music with you, despite the fact that being watched by 400 and some odd people at a time is daunting. How do you feel being so famous? It's stressing me out, Thomas. It's stressing me out. But I'm just focusing on the love of music and what I can give, and that helps a lot. How do you there's so many questions. Okay, I'm gonna go to the list that Sam's been making for me and answer the questions there. And we're kind of getting to the point. I'm gonna give you kind of one last thing to think about as you end your practices. I'll recap everything for being successful in your practices, and then I'll take a few more questions. And if there's anything you want me to play for you, just let me know. We'll end that way because that's really fun. How do you read both treble and bass clefs at the same time? I just filmed a lesson today. Earlier today, it's not going to release for a little bit, but it's called I Suck at Reading Sheet Music, or I Suck at Sight Reading, because I do. Because that's so hard. So one of the things we did in the Pianote Foundations is we don't teach you how to read notes till the second level. So you have 10 lessons before we even talk about notation. Because before you can expect yourself to read 2 clefs, you have to be able to get your hands to cooperate at the piano. So get confident in playing scales and moving around and doing stuff hands together without notes before you sight read. We have a pack-in piano, which is included in our membership, right? So you get 30% off your yearly, and then you get all these packs. It's called Sight Reading Made Simple, and it teaches you how to read each of the clefs and then play hands together. So you might want to check that out. I was traditionally and classically trained as a wind player. Now I'm learning piano more on a chord basis. Would any of your courses help with sight reading as I learn to apply skills to the keys? Yeah, for sure. Sight reading is actually a component that is tied through everything level 2 to 10 of the foundations. All of our song tutorials include lead sheets with notation. We have courses. Like I said earlier, you can play something and then send it to us like a video, and we'll give you feedback and areas that you can focus on, help you create a plan based on your specific goals. So I would say absolutely yes. Can I have a piece of advice? Is it okay if I start practicing solely from my memory, concentrating more on the key positions instead of reading them from the sheet? Yeah, 100%. I talked in this in my I Suck at Reading Music lesson. There's this common misconception out there that you have to, read the notes and focus on the page and all the things, but why wouldn't you concentrate on playing by memory if you have that skill? Why not? If that's working for you, do it. I never read sheet music. It's just there as like kind of a backup plan or just a general guide if I forget where I'm going. Everything else is from memory. And when I'm learning to read music, I look at the music, painstakingly, slowly read the notes, figure it out, do the things, and then I just play by memory. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, let's talk about how to end your practices. So we talked about practicing versus playing. When you end your practice, you should definitely end it by playing, not practicing. Doesn't that sound funny? So our brains are fun little things. And if we end our practices on a positive, like, oh, I did all that hard work, and now I'm just going to play, and if I make a mistake, whatever, it's okay. I'm going to keep going. I don't care. I'm going to just play and have some fun. If I can be off rhythm, I don't care. I'm seriously just playing for the sake of playing. And then you stop, and you're like, okay, how do I feel? How do I feel in my body? How do I feel in my heart? Oh my goodness, I feel great. I just had so much fun. That was so great. Then when tomorrow rolls around and you look at your piano, your brain's gonna be like, remember all that fun we had? So I always suggest that when you finish your practice, just do something fun. I don't even care if you're key mashing. If that's fun for you, you do that. I'm serious. Just seriously, have some fun. Improvise, play a song, don't practice. Just have some fun. And that will give you a positive memory that you'll be drawn back to the piano with. Okay, so we're going to have a few more questions. Ooh, what budget piano would you recommend for a beginner? That's a great question. It's challenging. Honestly, if you can, you can find a really good full-size keyboard for under $1,000 US, usually between like $600 and $800. Casio Privia. My favorite is the Roland FP30 in that price point. The Yamaha P125. And that's something that's really solid that's going to take you through for a while, right? You're not going to have to upgrade for a long time. If you want something a little more affordable, I love the Roland Go piano. That's closer to the $400 to $500 US mark. It's not a full size, but the sound is really good and the weight in the keys is really good. So if you want something on a bit more of a budget.
Can I have my 2 cents?
You can have 2 cents.
Yes. So for me, the good thing about those ones that are just under $1,000 is that they're going to hold their value a whole lot better than anything under $500. You're pretty much not really going to be able to give away a keyboard under $500. You will be able to sell a keyboard that's around $800 when you originally buy it.
I'd agree.
Secondly, the only thing I'd worry about if you're really concerned about price is the weighted keys to make sure it feels as real as possible.
Yes.
And that you actually enjoy listening to the sound it makes.
Oh yeah, that's so important.
Because if you're annoyed by the sound it makes and it's not what you hear in your head, you're not going to want to play it.
I would agree with that 200%. That was a good 2 cents, Taylor.
Thank you. Every once in a while. Every once in a while.
Every once in a while. Yeah, I respect that. Okay. All right. What do you know what fingers to use? Is there a certain way or kind of play however's comfortable? I just play however's comfortable. And if I find myself in a sticky situation, I just move my fingers. What are you going to do? I feel like, though, in all honesty, all the years of classical training kind of helped me learn good habits. I'm going to give that classical training a thumbs up for that. There's a lot I didn't like about it, but that was something, oh my gosh, it was painful. My teacher would be like, play that part again, you used the wrong fingers. And I'd be like, ugh, everything else is perfect. But it did help me to develop good instincts. Should I limit my piano practice not to get bored playing? I don't think so. It all depends on your goals. If you're a hobbyist, then sure. But if you have some goals in place for improvements, then as long as you keep challenging yourself, I don't see you getting bored. The trick is to keep yourself moving forward. Oh, we do have t-shirts. Yeah. Sam, can you type the link in? I don't know where to find them, but we have t-shirts, and they're awesome. They're so soft and comfortable. I saw something about playing yellow, but then
I saw some playing yellow. I saw playing the Louis Capaldi song that we did a tutorial for a while back.
Oh.
Somebody you love. Is that what it's called?
Somebody you loved. Okay, I'll start with yellow.
Okay.
I always like to end these with a few songs, because I feel like this gives you guys like a pretty accurate picture of the kind of things that you'll be able to work towards if you are in the Pianote membership. This is the goal, right? To give you musical freedom so that you can look at a chord chart or a lead sheet or whatever notation you want and play and make something amazing with it. And that's the goal, right? So I haven't played yellow. I don't think I've possibly ever played this. Got the stars, look how they shine for you. I feel like, I might not be right. And everything you do, they were all yellow. I came along, I wrote a song for you. And all the things you do, it was called yellow. So then I took my turn. I haven't heard this song in forever. What a thing to have done. And it was all yellow. I'm guessing here. Your skin, oh yeah, your skin and bones turn it into something beautiful. You know I love you so. You know I love you so. I think that was almost right. I'm gonna give myself 8 out of 10 there. Is that too generous, guys? Okay, someone you loved. Someone you loved. And we have a song tutorial for this in the members area. So many use that. Awesome. Oops. I should know how to play this. I'm going under, and this time I feel there's no one to save me. Look, there's those little fills we learned earlier. This all and nothing really got a way of driving me crazy. I need somebody to heal, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you numbed all the pain, and now the day bleeds into fun one to do. It's actually not super challenging, and it's really pretty, and I love it. All right. Oh, there's lots of song requests here. Whoa. Oh, Yesterday by the Beatles. Okay, I'm going to do that one only because I don't know if I can, so it'll be a fun little challenge. I like to live on the edge. First, I need some water.
Mozart just joined the chat. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. He's late, but he joined us.
Welcome here, Mozart. It's really nice to see you. Okay, Yesterday. Yesterday. Ooh, that's low. Ooh, I just sang really low. Ooh, okay. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Pardon me while I just raised this key a little bit. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Suddenly, I'm not half the man I used to be. There's a shadow hanging over me. Oh, yesterday came suddenly. Okay, here we go. I don't know if I can do this part. Why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. I said something wrong. Now I long for yesterday. Oh, yes. There's so many chords in that song. That was fun. Dun, dun, dun. You guys are so kind. Skill Rex. I don't know that.
Skrillex?
Skrillex. Taylor, should I know that?
Yeah. He's like one of the biggest EDM artists in the world.
Taylor, will you send me some Skrillex songs so I can do my some?
Although I don't think you'll like him very much. He's pretty aggressive.
I don't like aggressive.
Yeah.
I like melodic and chill. Toss a coin to your Witcher. I don't know that song.
That's from the Witcher series on Netflix.
I don't watch that series. It's probably too dark for me. I like happy songs, happy shows, happy books. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna be wrapping her up soon. I don't know Down to You by Joni Mitchell, but I know other Joni Mitchell. I love Joni Mitchell. How do I not know Down to You? Now I feel embarrassed. Okay, hold on. Checking my list here. Whoa. Cassie is still part of the Pianote family. She is just on maternity leave because she's gonna have a baby like any day now. So that's very exciting for her. Metronomes, physical or phone? I can't stand the sound of most physical metronomes. When you type metronome into Google, there's a metronome that comes out, and that's my favorite one to use.
One more thing. I added my 2 cents to the chat a while back on that question as well. But
thank you.
In terms of physical metronomes and phone metronomes, a phone metronome, because it's digital, is always going to be on time.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
A physical metronome, while any new one is probably almost always going to be on time, the one that Lisa is going to show you right now
It's not.
is not on time. It is like it's a close approximation of time, but it's not in time. And the other good thing is that, do you want to carry that around for the rest of your life?
Well, it's kind of pretty.
Or do you just have your phone on you in your pocket?
Put in my purse.
Exactly.
Exactly. Click, 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 click. 7 Years by Lucas Graham. I don't know that one very well. All right, I'll try it. I do not know any Rick Wakeman, although my dad raised me listening to Yes. So, that's a thing. I don't know if I know 7 Years, guys, but I'm going to try this for you. Once I was... Oh, wait, I can do it. It was... I'm taking it up. I cannot sing that low. Let's go. Once I was 7 years old, my mama told me, go make yourself some friends or you'll be lonely. Once I was 7 years old, wish that we were out to make a steady figure. One size 11 years old. My daddy told me, go get yourself a wife or you'll be lonely. One size 11 years old. That's basically it. Is that good enough? I think so. I'm not playing Bohemian Rhapsody. No way, Jose. Oh, I'm just going... Okay, so we have 500 chord charts in our 500 songs in 5 days pack. That's a lot of chord charts. I've been switching between those, our lead sheets within the Pianote members area, and then ultimateguitar.com, just to type them in and using a guitar chart. I'm gonna end with a Norah Jones song, just a little, maybe a little piece of a Norah Jones song, and that's gonna be the end. Okay, Norah Jones. Here you go. She's so lovely. Norah, what song do I know? Sunrise? I think I know that one. We'll see. We'll see. Sunrise, sunrise, looks like morning in your eyes, but the clocks tell 9:15 for hours. Sunrise, sunrise, couldn't tempt to see if it tried, but the afternoon's already come and gone. And I said, etc. It's a very beautiful song, and there aren't very many chords. A, B minor, A, D, G. It's not too many. Just throw them out. Oh my goodness, guys, this was so fun. I'm pretty sure oh yeah, I'm definitely right-handed. Are you right-handed or left-handed, Sam? Okay, I'm pretty sure we post this to the channel, so if you had the link, you should be able to access it afterward. If you want to do this more often, come hang out with me in the members area. We're here. We do, ooh, that's my water. We do a live lesson every week for our members. Happy practicing. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. It's been so much fun, and I'll see you guys around.